The Astronaut Farmer surprised me. This is another one of those films, the DVDs, that you realize has a traveling story about it. What story is that? Well, it probably was in a rental store, and it was passed about all over the place. That it was bought from that rental store, sold by that person who bought it from that rental store when it was going out of business, and sold it to somebody else, and then it put it into a pawn shop, and it was just left there to rot, probably eventually to be thrown out as a tax write-off. And then it was picked up for 25 cents by a film collector, and then watched. And now you're looking at it right now. The Astronaut Farmer, the DVD that passed 1,000 hands. This film the disc was very, very scratched, but luckily it's one of those dual-layered discs where you got the widescreen version on one side and the full-screen version on the other side. So whenever the film was starting to skip, I just flipped to the other side, and I was able to get the full film watched, and it was all great. The Astronaut Farmer is surprisingly deep. It's surprisingly a good story, a good drama, a good, what's that, I wouldn't say thriller, it's just a drama, kind of. There's some kind of action-y stuff going on near the end of the film when the character actually gets into the spaceship, the rocket, and launches it into space. I have no idea if this is based on a true story or nothing like that. I didn't look any of that stuff up. But the basic synopsis is about this man here, Farmer. That's his name. His name is Farmer, and he lives on a farm. And you might actually be a farmer. So he lives out on a farm as a farmer. His last name is Farmer, very aptly put. And he happens to be a pilot. He happens to be very, very intelligent. He built himself a rocket all on his own in his barn, and he plans to fly it up into space. Because why not? He didn't join NASA. NASA was like, nah, man, the credentials and all that, you gotta go through all sorts of rigmarole and red tape. And, Farmer's like, why don't I just build my own rocket? Why don't I just build my own and go up by myself, on my own, without any rigmarole or red tape or anybody flying my sails? I'm just gonna go up on my own. It sounds like a perfect American thing to do, doesn't it? So, the farmer goes and tries to buy some rocket fuel, and this gets the FBI's attention, and suddenly the government is spying on him all the time, saying, you cannot fly this rocket. You need clearance from our corporation, from our agencies, from our government agencies, and all that stuff. And Farmer's like, why? I built this rocket. Do you own space? Do you own it? Do you own space? Do you own the moon? Do you own that? Are you gonna tell me I can't take my rocket to the moon? Do you plan to go there? You haven't been there since the 60s. What do you care? And then they keep on sending him into court. He keeps going into court, and he keeps telling them, if you're going to do something up there, why don't you do it? Otherwise, let me do it if you're not going to. I like the guy's gusto there. He's right. Nobody's doing anything up there, so why not? Why not? And so he finally gets his rocket. He finally gets up there. It's all a very family picture. It's a dream. It's a shared dream. The rocket, he names the rocket the Dreamer. It's a man who has a dream of going into space without any hand-holding, any corporations and all that stuff. He goes in there by his own grit, by his own talent, and the backing and belief of his family by his side. His son's at the comm station, constantly in contact with him, like Houston to rocket ship man and all that stuff. It was a great time. There's a lot of great actors coming in here. Bruce Willis is in this, J.K. Simmons is in this, and a bunch of other people whose names I can't remember off the top of my head, because you know I'm terrible with names. But there's a lot of big people in this movie. This film was incredibly surprising to me. I did not think it would be this interesting. It's a fantastic story, and the ending is probably going to make you feel all nice and heartwarming and moved. This is a great adventure of an American guy going like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I got a dream, and I am going to make it.